Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Tuesday, the 26th of November 2019. So I'm going to start off with the Dow today. There aren't any news headlines actually. It's a sign it's Thanksgiving week, very light on news and also headlines as well. So I want to just start off by looking at the Dow because this is the only thing that really has any sort of news. The daily chart, you will already see that the market has put in a new all-time high on the overnight market, which, for those who've followed the Market Alert for the last 10 years, will know this is no surprise. The moon and beyond is where they want the stock market above the 28,000 there, 28,000, 171, 30,000 on the cards, which I've spoken of before. They'll just keep moving this as long as they can move it and fund it and pump it until they no longer can. So we see the trend to the upside. We see the 200 MA. We see the market above this, and then we have prices above the 50 and the 20 as well. And you can actually take this into any time frame and see this, whether it's the weekly chart. You can see the market is above the 200 MA. It's also sloping in an upwards direction as well, which shows you the trend is to the upside. And even the the monthly chart as well, you can see that we've got the 200 MA moving to the upside. And with all of this combined, it's just a matter of buying the dips no matter what the time frame, where prices come back to the 200 MA. And this is what we see way down in the 5-minute chart yesterday. The market in the pre-market session putting in a 76% retracement here. We just get the tool. We go from the low here to here, which is the high before the open there, retracing from here to here. Sorry, from, let me just get rid of that. From here, we're doing it to the downside, not the upside, but I'll show you that in a second. The market pulling back to 76% there. And again, conversely, if you were to go from here down to here and draw it across, you'll see the market stopping here as well. So all of this combined, you can see the market bring in this before we then get the launch to the upside. T-9, market moves to the upside, then retraces and sits on the 50 bar moving average there, with prices hugging this and then switching to the 20 bar all the way through. It's Thanksgiving week. You're going to hear me say that a lot this week, but it allows the market to do this sort of thing where there's nobody selling into it. Nobody wants indigestion from their turkey on Thursday with the market crash in the background. So the consensus is let's just keep moving the prices, and we can see as soon as the market opens. And no doubt this spike in the market is something to do with a tweet from Trump about a China trade deal. I can't see it being anything else, but the market's pulled back from this. Already traded up to the R2 in the overnight market. So again, a bit of a pullback required here, but still above the DP and the 200 bar. Let me just show you those. There we go. I'll just drag this across. You can see this here at the moment. So yeah, I mean, of course we're going to get days where the market pulls back, but overall this market is marching to further and further to the upside with more record-breaking all-time highs. In the implied volatility, this supporting it at the moment, 1151 down from 1158 for yesterday, sitting at the 20 bar moving average. And in the color-coded version, you can see there just bang on it at the moment as prices continue to move above the 20 bar at the top there as well. Meanwhile, 10-year yields, there's something very interesting going on in the repo market, up to billions now. And this is being reflected by the yields actually switching again. So we could see another inversion here, which would be unusual. But at the moment, we've definitely got a peak and a downtrend in the 3-month and 10-year yields here. So I'll be keeping an eye on this, because that means that if we end up back down in this sort of inversion, then there really is a problem going on behind the scenes. At the moment, they've tried to bring it back, but it's not having it, which we can see happened over here as well in this area. We went to an inversion, they brought it back, and then we ended up in this major inversion. So it'll be interesting going forward. So keep an eye on this as well. Meanwhile, in Bitcoin, we had a bounce yesterday. No surprise really, because when you do get a downtrend in a market, you're always going to get a bounce, and we see prices coming back like this as well. And also, when all of the news is bad, it's an engineered move to bring prices back, squeeze the short traders out who decide to go short on news, and then the market is just brought back there, sitting above the 20 bar moving average at the moment, and free to continue to the downside if it desires to do so. However, this type of price bar here that we see is generally indicative of a market trading sideways to higher following this sort of activity. Very high volume bar as the market is being brought off the lows. A combination of potentially buying and short covering there as the long traders get out of the short traders get out of their position. They have to buy, which adds to this type of activity. So I wouldn't be at all surprised to see a bit of a bounce off this, depending how well the market holds at the 20 bar moving average. We'll see whether we go down or we move to the upside. But we'll see that unfold on a bar by bar basis. So yesterday the market managing to move higher off the S2 level that we see here. And then once back above the 20 bar moving average, we run into a bit of a roadblock at the 50 bar, but then through this all the way up to the 200, and look at the price bar that was required to drive through the 200 MA. Tried to sell back, this was absorbed, as then prices traded sideways for the rest of the trading session there. So there you can see prices sideways to higher on the overnight at the moment. Okay, well that will do it for this one. I don't think there's any news today, not to speak of anyway. There we go. That's the reason the market moved higher on the overnight. Just after midnight, Powell spoke. So whatever he said, which I haven't seen any reports of, I've checked all of the news wires this morning, but can't find anything. So it's obviously something that Powell has said that's moved the market. But other than that, there's no other major news. Only consumer confidence at 3 p.m. But again, what they'll do is forecast Black Friday coming up and all the rest of it as well. So don't be surprised if you see a sharp move at 3 p.m. as well to the upside, barring any sort of financial catastrophe with the repos and everything else that they're supporting at the moment. But otherwise, it's a done deal to keep the market moving to the upside there. Okay, that will do it for this one. Don't forget tomorrow's half day, Thursday closed, Friday half day as well. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.